Folks, good evening. I just wanted to come and talk to you guys a little bit about what happened today. We've got a official denial from Steve Barrett over at Sallisaw High School Superintendent, denying the request for an agenda item to be put on the agenda at this school board meeting on November 10th. I believe it's Monday, and he denied Ron's request to create a platform for all the parents to come in and speak to the board freely. And Steve Barrett, let me just read this to you. It said, "This email is in response to your request for an agenda item on the Sallisaw Public Schools November 10th, 2025 board agenda. After careful consideration and consultation, based on Sallisaw Schools Board Policy BEA, which grants the superintendent discretion on board agenda items, your request for an agenda item has been denied." He doesn't want you to have an open platform to come in and speak. He said, though, however, I placed you on the list to address the board during the public comments of the agenda. You'll be basically afforded 5 minutes to speak. And he's also said, the board will not tolerate personal attacks on members of the board or administration or administrative staff. That's interesting. Personal attacks. So look, if you don't agree with them, you can't be mean to them. See, this falls all right into that $185 fine if you're mean to a public official. They wanted to fine you $185. They don't like to be attacked. They don't like their character or their job performance to be questioned, and so they're not going to listen to you. He said, when you have time, please email me a list of individual parents of Sallisaw Public School students that have concerns, and I will arrange an individual meeting with them at an appropriate time. See, Steve, here's the deal. You want to corner these parents so you can control the narrative. You don't want to allow them to speak openly in a public meeting about their concerns. And that's concerning to me. That's what your board meetings are for, is to allow the general public to express their concerns and their grievances on how you and your board are running that school. Look, you have 4 cases with an SRO of your school, Blaine Griffey, having relations with a student. You have Josh Bolin, a coach of your school, had relations with a student. And you've got these 2 incidences over at Eastside. One is closed. The little girl that was abused, her case is closed. So we need to talk about this. We need to know what plans you have in place to keep this from happening again. And apparently, you don't want to talk about it. But what is concerning to me is that you allow Amy Pace, the Sallisaw Now Coalition head, to come in to your school when she was employed before she got arrested and charged with drinking and driving while she put her car in park on I-40 and passed out in the middle of the lane, a week after you allowed her in your school to teach your students how not to drink and drive and how bad it was. But see, here's the issue, Steve. You don't want to listen to the public, but you're going to put people in place like Amy Pace. You won't let Ron create a platform for the parents to come in and address you on the issues that you're having with your school. The board will not tolerate personal attacks on members of the board or administrative staff. Who decides what's a personal attack? If I call you a piece of shit, is that a personal attack? It's my opinion. I don't think you have what it takes to run that school. Why is there 4 abuses of children in the last 2 years? Why won't you answer the question, Steve? Is 4 too many? You won't answer it because it's not too many to you. You think that's an acceptable margin. I don't. I think 0 is the right number. One is too many, Steve. That's the answer. Amy Pace, she wrote a Facebook post the other day, and I find it quite comical. It says, "I miss the days when social media was happy milestones, recipes, keeping up with family from far away, cheering sports teams, and even respectable debates. I can say from personal experience, it is anything but that now. I think we can all agree it has affected each of us in our small town in some way or another, but how many of you have refrained from clicking, liking, reacting, or sharing? The more attention you give is exactly what is wanted on every single story, and it continues to spread half-truths. It's only half-truths. You're only claiming it's half-truths because you don't agree with what the story is, Amy, because it's mostly about you sometimes. And it continues to spread half-truths. It says, cause chaos, hurt, divide, and anguish to everyone. No, not to everyone, Amy. It's just the ones that are out there doing devious things that are trying to get away with it because we have a two-tiered justice system. She goes on and she says, I regret the mistakes I've made, and I thank God every single day that they weren't worse. But it was harder on me than all of the consequences I faced were the things said on social media platforms by some of you that my children have to read. Do better, be better. From Amy Pace. Do better, be better. Amy, take your own advice. You should have been doing better and being better when you were over at Sallisaw High School teaching those kids how bad it was to drink and drive. While you were doing the same thing, and you've been doing it for years because you've been caught twice prior. Look, our community used to be someplace I was proud to call home, and now I feel like everyone is letting others tear it apart at the seams. No. If you're referring to the Sallisaw transparency page, tearing it apart at the seams, no, Amy. The only people that are tearing it apart at the seams are you, Ernie Martins, people that are in power that are letting these kids be abused at the high school and doing nothing about it, i.e. the SRO Blaine Griffey, having relations with students. These two incidences over at Sallisaw Eastside School, they're not doing anything about those either, and they won't do anything about it. Why? Because it's who the perpetrators were. So when you got to judge a son doing these things, nothing's going to happen, guys. But they won't even let you talk about it at the school board meeting. They won't let you address the school board meeting because they don't want to be held accountable, and they have the power to keep you from holding them accountable at their meeting. So this is how it works here in Sallisaw. It's how it's always worked. It's how it's going to work in the near future until we make some changes. Folks, the way you change this is you vote out the school board members. Get rid of the board members. Those board members will get rid of Steve Barrett. They'll get people in place that are competent and have your kids' safety first at hand. Until that happens, you're going to have exactly what's going on here. And look, it's real simple. We wanted to create a platform for the parents to come out to the school board and address their grievances and their concerns to the board, and Steve Barrett just shot that down. He wants to do it in a private meeting, one-on-one, where he can control the narrative and nobody's going to hear anything that's going to be said. That's how they keep you suppressed. That's how they keep you squashed. Your voice as a whole, as a community whole, doesn't matter to them. So I'm going to go ahead and post this, and I just want to let you know what's going on, and good night and God bless.